let's get into the meat of our IG discussion here. So here at the Innovate Guam podcast, we're really interested in the island of Guam's innovation, technology, and economic development. And with the coming technological explosion with the fourth industrial revolution, we want to explore what is needed for Guam to succeed. So the way we look at this is we look at it from three different facets. The first facet is workforce development, i.e., what do we need to develop the workforce for the future technology? Two, technology development and deployment. What specific technologies can be used and deployed here in Guam to uplift economic development or improve efficiency or improve quality of life? And then finally, government policies and initiatives, i.e., what can government do to kind of facilitate all that we've been talking about here? So with your background and your vision of a nonprofit tech academy or tech institute, we're very interested in hearing what you have to say about workforce development initiatives. Feel free to talk about and comment on any of the other facets as well. So the first question is really about workforce development. Tell me about this vision you have of standing up a tech institute serving the young people of Guam, and tell me how you came to this vision and what motivated you to develop this vision.
I'll start with what motivated me to start this vision. And I'll be frank, the current career path for going to school and having a job as an engineer is to become a manager or maybe climb the corporate ladder and provide services to the shareholders of that company, or if they're a private company, whatever the legal structure may be. I felt there had to be more than that. It was obvious to me that I could build these services to their needs as needed. And in a more concrete term, it's like being in a manufacturing plant or factory and being able to build a widget. Either design the widget, create the widget, put the widget or the product to the people and sell the product. Well, the most that someone can get out of that is the value created and offered to people. So if we create a valuable product, then a lot of people can use it and it's great. But it only benefits the company, in my opinion. And as we talked about earlier, it's great for the individual, it's great for the career, and it's great for succeeding for those whose aptitudes are geared towards that. Maybe they want to build the greatest products everywhere. They want to be the greatest engineers. I saw my path as I could be in the top X% of engineers, or I could be a great manager to help people and other engineers with their careers. But it would only serve one company at a time. My motivation today is I wanted to help more than just a single company, a single organization. And I could have started in the US, where the opportunities are abundant. The opportunities are vast, and there's many places and many other people to help. But I asked myself, where is the need?
Wow. Yeah, where is the need?
The US and many other countries that work in technology, I'm talking South Korea, Japan, Singapore, the Philippines, Thailand, Australia, Europe, like the Euros, what was it called? The Schengen area.
Yes.
Are creating technologies today, and the need exists, but there's also a need here on Guam. Guam is my home.
Yes.
Guam is where my family is at.
So you can tell, Jordan, this is really a passionate area for you, that it's all about kind of bringing your best and brightest back to your home to make your home better. It's something that is deeply personal to you, deeply emotional to you, deeply something that you believe in and want to do, not just about money or climbing the corporate ladder. It's about how do I make me, my community, and my people better. And I love that about you.
Thank you. You put a lot of that into the words I cannot express. I'd like to express them, and that is the mission of this nonprofit. We are not bringing people from the States over as we do with consultants and other contractors. We're going to build from the ground up. Rather than call it a grassroots movement, it's an island movement.
There we go.
I live in an agricultural zone, a farm if you must.
Where is that? Tell me about where you live.
So I was born and raised in Dedido. I like to share more, but
Shout out to Dedido.
out here in Dedido. It's funny, back then the districting was a little bit different. I went to school in JFK. Ukudu was recently built, but I would take the bus every day. Our bus would I'll take the bus. Our bus would pass Ukudu on the way to JFK. So that's just like a little funny thing that I remember from back then. I was like, why am I not going to Ukudu? It's like right here.
So ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but ladies and gentlemen, this is real. This is real. You see this young man's passion and his heart out there on wearing it on his sleeve about what he believes in terms of vision for Guam, vision for Guam's young people, and really getting them involved in the technological revolution. And I tell you, it excites me when I see this. So again, I'm sorry to interrupt again. This is real. We haven't staged this. This is genuine emotion and realness here. Go ahead.
Thank you. Going back, I live in a farm, and I know what it means to grow seeds that grow and blossom into plants that produce fruit, plants that produce beauty, and plants that produce shade. Like an old proverb saying, the best time to plant was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. Yeah. And I see that in education for technology and training today. What that looks like is we currently, I like to use analogies that we currently don't provide those services to ourselves just yet. And the plan is to do so. I'm making an analogy to the
you're talking about.
Technology services, including application development for the businesses of Guam, and for businesses and for offering services to companies and countries outside of our island.
Okay.
Without getting into too much detail, it's actually codified into law that some services and some companies can be considered, according to Title 11, Division 2, Chapter 26 of Guam Code Annotated. Companies can be organized as an export trading company, which is any person, partnership, association, or similar, whether operated for profit or as a nonprofit organization, which does business under the laws of Guam and organized and operated principally for the purposes of one, exporting goods or services produced on Guam, or facilitating the exportation of goods or services produced in the US states or Guam by unaffiliated persons by providing one or more export trade services. So I think my guess is that this law back in the 90s, 70s, 80s, or 90s was to produce goods that Guam could produce. But I don't see Guam as a strong manufacturing just because of our landmass. What we can produce and what I have seen is the intelligence and our current structure of education that has enabled people like me, my peers, other families to pursue degrees at GCC, UOG, and in the mainland or any other country and be successful in those places. The capacity is here, but the opportunities are not.
Yes. So I love the way that you framed the set from the what was coded in Guam law. That basically it probably was thought of at the time of this is kind of sets the foundation for maybe some Guam unique merchandise, uh, arts, trinkets, cultural effects, etc., that we could start exporting and really highlight the culture of Guam. And then that might lead into manufacturing opportunities, both on those cultural specific kinds of products and items, or other manufacturing that's being invested on the island. But what you're saying is in the 21st century, with this new economy, instead of always thinking about it in terms of a physical product, think about it in cyberspace, that you're out there and you're using the brains and the creativity of the people to deliver software products that operate in cyberspace from Guam using Guam brain power, Guam knowledge, Guam abilities of its people to make things happen. And that's a great kind of model that you don't necessarily need to have a product in. The product comes from here and it exists in the world of cyberspace in order to make trillions of dollars of value happen, whether here on Guam, in the CONUS, or someplace else in the world. Have I got that right?
Absolutely. And that product, instead of calling it mind power, it is service. Instead of providing a good, it's a technology service.
Yeah.
Initially, technology today, but in the future, this nonprofit aims to provide design services. We have beautiful clothing here on Guam, beautiful designs. We have beautiful trinkets, and those were to be designed somehow, some way, and we could compete in those areas and provide opportunities to provide more services to others: engineering services, design services, construction services. Technology, what I'm talking about is this 21st century. The internet, as we discussed earlier, has enabled this service shift to happen, and it has not been captured yet to our benefit.